Everyone, I hope all of you are amazing and doing well. So this side Anshika Jain, as a legal intern in Lexis and Law Company for the month of July, have come again with a very interesting and a different topic. So I ask you a question. Whenever you heard the topic, whenever you heard the words recreation, a source of enjoyment, what comes to your mind? I ask this question to you all. I guess all of you are connecting with my words. What am I talking about? Exactly. I'm talking about sports, a source of joy, a source of entertainment. So today my topic is related to that. Today I'm going to discuss the sports laws and courts in India. So let's discuss that. Playing games is always an interesting experience for everyone, especially the children. In India, sports hold a special place in the hearts of the people. They find it as a source of a stress reliever and a hot topic of a discussion, especially when it comes to cricket. In their localities, children frequently play in sports like cricket and badminton. For them, it's a pleasurable activity. Today, we observe that India's sport business is very competitive and a global network. The revenue generated by its industry accounts for 3% of global trade and also have achieved a prominence in both the social and political era. Now let's talk about a personal pastime. It is now confronted as something more than just a personal pastime, and there are so many sports related issues. As the business witnessed several scandals and mismanagement in the system over the years, now policies were revised to implement and various groups were formed to oversee the sport laws in India. Now let's discuss the historical background regarding the sports. Games were well known even in the ancient India when various sports were practiced as a source of entertainment for the royal families as well as a means of pleasure for the general public. Sports, they were even a source of revenue for the athletes back then, and they had not progressed into a vocation or a passion. People's view and thinking changed, and sports evolved from a historical tradition into an activity characterized by a passion, encouragement, and desire to show oneself in front of the entire world. India gradually began to compete in sporting activities throughout the world, with the government assisting in various establishment of training centers for the athletes. Even after all these reforms, India's skills were unable to be effectively showcased due to a lack of government and public incentives as well as a lack of uniform sport regulation. Even in the present world, it is apparent that parents and school teachers place a greater emphasis on academics rather than allowing their children to go for playing a sports activities for a national and international level. So now let's discuss what are the various laws and policies that India have regarding the sports. The first policy is the National Sports Policy 2001. The mere presence of Indian athletes at various events and contests was insufficient to establish a positive image for the sports in India. The politician felt compelled to enact a policy in order to improve the country's sporting standards. So in August 1984, both houses of parliament, they passed a resolution on the national sports policy with this notion in the mind. The national sports policy of 1984 had some promising aspects, but it could not be implemented. So the national sports policy of 2001 was drafted with a threefold purpose. So let's discuss now the threefold purpose. The first purpose was to clearly define the areas of responsibility for all the agencies responsible for sports promotion and development. Promotion is critical for all the athletes and sponsors in the sports activity. Now let's discuss the second objective. The second goal was to identify which sport federation were qualified for coverage under these rules and also to spell out the procedures that these federations must follow in order to get government help, and all these federations must seek even the sponsorship. The third goal was to determine the government's qualifying criteria for awarding money to sports federation. These parameters had to be carefully selected in order for the federation to take it seriously. Now let's discuss the various organizations that regulates the sport laws in India. The first organization is the Sport Law and Welfare Association. It is a nationwide professional non-profit organization dedicated for promoting ethical sport laws practice in India. It also helped to ensure that these laws are followed in order to maintain the in order to maintain the sports business. Now let's discuss the second organization, that is the Sports Authority of India. It is a national apex organization established in 1984 by Ministry of Youth and Sports to conduct and coordinate various activities across the country. Following a series of successful sporting events in the country, the government was inspired to focus on the growth of sports in India and to encourage youth physical fitness. Now let's discuss the third important organization, that is the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. It establishes the requirement of various national sport federations to be recognized and receive funding to promote sporting events. It is in charge of overseeing, supporting and assisting the bodies that administer the sports in India. Now let's discuss the sports and competition laws. Two opposing teams are said to be competing. It is a rivalry between the teams that turns into a sport. This competitive element not only encourages the players to play, but it also provides a money stream through games. To be successful, the teams must be efficient in order to compete even more effectively. So the sport is usually organized into a pyramid structure with a single governing body controlling the majority of the commercial aspect of each sport on one end. So let's take an example like the Board of Control for Cricket has the de facto dominant role in the system as it does in India. So they create rules to keep rival groups from forming by tying players together and preventing them from competing in other events. Under competition laws, these rules are being challenged. So finally we can come to the conclusion that the sports sector is a powerful unit of India since it has talent, players' passion, government support, money and grants to people to meet people's needs, a planned agenda, goal that must be met and recognize that strategies must be implemented in order to put up a good show. To improve the legal aspect of sports, one option is to first adopt legislation that guarantee the protection of sportsperson rights regardless of whether they are star players or not. So their rights and contracts should also be protected and they should not be able to terminate them illegally at any time. So I hope you are really amazed by listening that there are so many laws and regulations regarding a source of enjoyment, that is regarding the sports. So I hope all of you have really enjoyed that by being understanding the various laws and regulations on the sports. Thank you very much for listening to me carefully.